Hello there, Internet. Hello there, YouTube. Welcome back. Pardon me. I don't know if you can overhear this on the microphone, but I am actually pouring myself a glass of Pepsi, which I plan to savor. Anyway, welcome back to the Hunter Gamers. Well, it's not anything specific. It's just more gameplay exhibition of X-Men Legends 2. Some more content. We are doing always solo hardcore content. None of that team nonsense. And if you die, you are dead forever. Start again. Act 1, Quest 1. Now, last night I showed some gameplay of Colossus, who was recently, I believe, slandered unfairly as the weakest character in the game. I believe it actually almost the opposite is true. He's one of the strongest, probably about fourth from the top. The three who are above him are completely broken, by the way. Actually, numerically, there's parts of their kit that are favorably broken. Anyway, we'll maybe show them off later, but tonight I want to show Cyclops, who's generally regarded as one of the good characters in this game, and we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's get in there. Do my little start screen.
Let the games begin.
And I hope this new microphone setup is good. I had a look at this, and it seemed much better than the old one. Anyway, so here we are. We go new game. We go hard, which, as I explained yesterday, is where you what's the word? You kind of export a save into a new game, and that save, the new game will be on a kind of second layer of difficulty, like Nightmare and Diablo and so on and so forth. Most, in my understanding, a lot of ARPGs will have some kind of similar concept where you do a second kind of end game playthrough. This only has the one. So this is as hard as you can make this game. It's not the most stable thing on Windows 11, by the way, so you have to bear with the occasional stuttering. Usually it doesn't crash. It has crashed once or twice. Anyway, as I said, this is the hardest way you can play this game. So we are playing on the hardest possible difficulty, and instead of having a full team, instead of having 4 people, we have 1. Now, that means obviously I take 4 times as much damage, I draw 4 times as much aggro, I have potentially a quarter of the DPS output of a team, and no benefit of team buffs, team synergies, all of which can be extremely potent in this game. You could make the game harder by also taking off equipment. I don't think it would be winnable, at least certainly not for Cyclops. So here's my build. As we always say, speed is a dump stat. For Cyclops, strike is a dump stat, so it's purely body focus. Focus is where you're going to get your damage from, and body helps you stay alive. You basically just don't want to get one shot, which can happen. Build-wise, here is how I build Cyclops. I don't claim to be a master of Cyclops builds, but this is what got me through solo hardcore, the base game. So this is what I'm going to stick with. Now, the only thing I would consider adding is some points in defense grid, because it's very nice to be able to dodge projectile attacks. But my goal with Cyclops thus far has been essentially we kite, we run, we don't get hit. We play around, ideally, not getting hit. That's actually going to kind of be impossible in this initial section. Obviously, we have visor upgrade. We desperately need the damage. And this is where Cyclops falls down in comparison to Colossus or something. His EP economy is not on the same level, his damage is not on the same level, and he doesn't have a magic invincibility button that doubles his damage. He does have some nice things going for him, though. I had great fun playing through this game, solo hardcore, as Cyclops. And, he could have died. It's a losable proposition. It's not where it's like, okay, well, I should only die if I make some terrible mistake. You can die if you just don't play well enough or if you're not alert enough. Now this first part could actually be quite difficult for Cyclops because there's a lot of fights where we can't really use our kind of kitey strategy that we want to use. What we like to do with Cyclops is we like to deny people sightlines, force them to chase us, and we have our trap preset. They run into the trap, they're CC'd by the trap, and they're kind of at our mercy then, and we just poke them down. It's not going to let us. But as you can see, the trap is very, very effective. But, you know, it's not free damage. It has to be placed. It has to, you know, it can only lock off a certain area. It can also be destroyed. So anything that can't be CC can very easily break the trap. This is what I was talking about yesterday when we were playing through with Colossus. There's a particular enemy that just utterly destroys Cyclops as a result of that. And you'll see when we get to them. But as I say, yes, so the skills is, we go from the Optic Beam. It's just his best attack in terms of DPS, single target DPS. Primarily, a big part of it is because of this massive attack speed boost, which is very useful when you're kiting and so on. Less time spent shooting means you can either shoot more or you can reposition between shots more seamlessly. That's very valuable for a character who is trying to not get hit. As you can see, it's a lot of EP, and the damage is not that great. Then we have Auto Artillery, which the damage on that looks low, but remember that's damage per second, and it's applying damage from gear and so on. It's a really good ability, but again, lots of EP, and the trap itself is very, very flimsy. And we use Polarized Beam, only 1 point. It is what it is. And his ultimate is very good. Pardon me. His ultimate is very good. It's also very, it's kind of unique, and it comes out in like a fan shape, which is very useful. And with full visor upgrade and lots of focus, it does quite a good chunk of damage. Now, as you can see, I can even use auto attacks on these guys. If anyone remembers, I was explaining the other day about how auto attacks, you know, speed is a dump stat, basically. So even with no speed, or just the passive amount of speed I get for leveling up. Maybe I can... Ah, alright. The damage these guys do is not too bad, but I'm just trying to keep the old reflexes intact, because this boss mob could potentially kill us quickly, but we should be okay. We just blast them down nicely.
Sorry about that.
As you can see, when we don't mind burning through our EP, we can put a decent amount of damage, you know, kind of downrange with good speed. The problem is, as I say, is the EP is your EP economy, and that ult is really good. I really like it. It has a really strong knockback effect on anything that it doesn't kill, which, you know, that's where you want things. You want them hurled away. That's right. I was gonna look at these rares that we just picked up. Oh, okay, that's a nice, solid upgrade. Very nice. So we've got upgrades on the way. But yeah, there's nothing explicitly wrong with Cyclops' kit. It's so hard to say, because it's like, once you know where you can die and you know how to min-max a build onto the character, like all the kind of mid-tier characters in this game will actually feel quite strong when you play through the game with them, and even some of the kind of characters that are on the worst end can feel quite strong. Like, I would say Sabretooth is one of the worst characters in this game, although he does a lot of damage, and, you know, damage can just solve all your problems. He's also very fast, and, you know, speed can do a lot to keep you alive. So he has everything he needs to get through the game. And when you're playing him, you know, doing well.
This one's mine.
Nice. Come on, Grubs. Get trapped.
This one's out.
But you can see this gameplay loop. It's different. It's not as dynamic. And it's obviously much less safe.
Let's keep moving.
Obviously, much less safe than the gameplay loop with Colossus, where you're literally invincible. But this guy's all about playing around the range advantage. And he's the best user, I would argue, the best user in this game of simple range advantage. Largely because of his ultimate. Most characters will have to close space to ult. Cyclops doesn't need to, which is really nice. As you can see, a good amount of ultimates here. Lots of potions, and we got through that relatively easily.
Greetings. Several apocalypse talking right now.
It's hard to explain to you where it's like,
Salutations, my friend.
you know, I say, oh, this guy's so much weaker. 47 mental, 60 radiation, striking.
I might remind you, all
Bleh.
sales are fine. Greetings again, my friend.
Let's see if there's anything we want to hold on to here as far as shopping goes. That's better than what we have, but it's
There's quite a selection, isn't there?
potentially worth picking up. It won't disappear or anything, so I can hold the money for now, because ideally we will just find some good gear. And yeah, I could get a redistribute if I need it. I don't think I will. I think I'm kind of settled on this build. And as I say, but what I might maybe have to do is, who knows. Anyway, we'll just get into it. We'll see. We'll cross whatever bridges. I'm not going to play through this entire difficulty on like this, because you know this is kind of just a showcase. You've got the whole solo playthrough on my channel. This is a showcase of like, all right, now we've beaten the base game, and now here is the harder challenge, and let's see, you know, is it achievable for this character? Because I could die, walk around the next corner as Cyclops, and just get exploded by something, and that doesn't necessarily mean that this is not an achievable challenge. It just means that I died. But if you guys could, you know. Anyway, as I say, he might not seem that much weaker than Colossus, but you have to remember, A, we barely started into this. B, you have to recognize... see, one of this guy's legitimate weaknesses is that the auto-targeting in this game absolutely fucking stinks, and it doesn't properly let you ignore it with point and clicks either. It's very, very frustrating. But I should have put a trap down for them, because as you can see, it trivializes the encounter quite nicely. But for now we're kind of eating well, because the trap is very strong. I would argue it's probably the strongest part of Cyclops' game. The trap and his ultimate. But yeah, we're eating well now because we can just kind of do the thing that we want to do, which is poke stuff at range, kite it into a trap that immobilizes it, and then, you know, just poke it down for free while it's all CC'd. We are going to come up against enemies that just won't give a shit about that gameplay loop. Particularly bosses are going to be tricky to deal with, but having the range advantage, you know, and the ability to run around and stuff, range advantage is very powerful in this game. And this is why, like, I'm always a little bit hesitant about saying Cyclops is genuinely, like, a D tier character. Because I think last time I was saying it was, like, as I say, the overwhelming majority of these of the characters in this game are, like, solid B tier, and they feel really strong with a good build on them. It's just that the stuff that is above them is either, like, it's either objectively broken, like, you know, it has some ability that interacts with some other ability in a certain way that has some tremendous, you know, bonus to you, or they have stuff like just, you know, flat out being able to press the button and say, no, I can't die for the next minute. most of the characters in this game don't have stuff like that, but they do have their own very, very strong mechanics.
I need more energy for that.
I mean, if they really just want to stand there.
Power to do that.
But you can see mental resistant.
I need more energy for that. Nice try.
Look how much of a pounding they take. And sometimes stuff will kind of just walk through your trap like that, and then you have to deal with it. So it's not necessarily a guaranteed way to kind of plug up a choke. But as I say, it's good. I actually enjoy playing every character in this game. I think, like, who is genuinely the D tier? Rogue has to be, and she's not, I don't know, again, Rogue can make herself invincible. So putting her in D tier seems silly. Even though she does lack a lot of damage and so on. So yeah, again, I can't justify putting Rogue in D tier. Maybe legitimately only Scarlet Witch. And then Scarlet Witch is actually like maybe not S tier, but is a really strong character to play on a team. Just solo, she doesn't. It's hard to explain exactly why, but it's like she has debuffs. They're great on a team, but they're not good when you personally are trying not to get hit. Her only good kind of AoE radial attack is really unsafe for her to use, and the damage is really limited. And her ranged attacks are all like very, very slow projectiles. So they just miss a lot. You waste a hell of a lot of energy. Her attacks cost a lot of energy to use. They kind of revolve around special mechanics. Like, there's one that can turn an enemy into a crate. And it's like, it's a small percentage chance of turning them into a crate. And it's like, yeah, well, you can just shoot them with another ability that just kills them every single time in one shot. There's plenty of abilities that do in this game. And hers just don't. Or then, she'll have an ability that's like... it has a chance of reducing an enemy's hit points by a third, which, again, is like a chance. I mean, I would argue that just the base damage should be guaranteed be doing more than that. Unfortunately, it kind of doesn't. But yeah. And then she has an ability that you can blow up objects with it, which is like, well, that's only good if there are objects around. So it's very gimmicky stuff that it doesn't work very well. Her damage is really questionable.
According to Sabretooth, they're called...
Here we are in what, on a normal playthrough, is the most dangerous area in the game. It's still not exactly safe as houses here. That said, this area is never too bad for Cyclops because range advantage is very helpful. And this is 36 electricity damage. I might honestly just pop this on. So Cyclops is a unique item which you get from the danger room. It's pretty nice. The plus 25 damage is okay. The movement rate is really nice. But I think we're just going to get more from this. We'll see. We'll see. better. But yeah, you can see already like how much more. Oh, you maybe. I hope you can see how much more just wary and slow I'm being. I can't just kind of go wherever I want. Oh, the auto targeting. Like, come on! I'm literally shooting at a wall. It's ridiculous. But you see what I mean when I say, like, he does not have that much damage. And it's like, he can have a good amount of damage when everything is, you know, when all the pieces kind of fall into place. And you have stuff stuck in your trap, and you're smashing it with polarized beam. But you know, we can kind of punch stuff to death faster than we can, at about the same speed as we can blast it down. And even if the kind of time to kill is not that much slower than, say, it is for Colossus, there's something to be said for, you know, the fact that there's no mitigation of risk here. We can die.
You're not doing so well.
The only real layer of safety we have is this, the CC. Which is good, don't get me wrong. But you'll see, there are enemies it just doesn't work on. They do not care about it.
You sure you want to keep this up?
As you can see though, his clear speed can get quite nice when you're willing to invest those extreme tokens. But the problem is, like there, that's a really easy place. Like it's a no-brainer that you're going to use extremes there because there's always a big fat stack of regular enemies, and then there's always a boss pack of, you know, a particularly dangerous and troublesome enemy type that, you know, if you have the tools, you want to just blast it down as quick as you can. But you can also see 17 health potions. And it might seem like our extreme economy is much better than Colossus, but remember, we've only used our extreme like 3 times so far, whereas his has almost 100%, well, not 100%, but not particularly in these tunnels. But there are places in the game where there are more loot drops and so on, where it does genuinely just have 100% uptime. And it also had 100% uptime in basically any encounter where there was any risk of us dying, like a boss fight. Or whenever I saw a pack of elites that I thought, ooh, that looks dangerous, see a dangerous spore. Ooh, that looks dangerous. We just press this button and now I'm invincible. And, you know, Cyclops doesn't have that. Pardon me, I just hit Alt-Tab by accident. Hopefully it's all okay now. But yeah, I saw something drop. I wasn't sure if it was 42 electricity damage. And yeah, that's a homing beacon there, but we don't get, unless the character themselves has the tools to get it. I won't get it unless it's, you know, quest essential. But we should be able to just nuke these guys.
Let's keep moving. You're not doing so well.
again with any luck. But yeah, this guy just has to lean very hard on that. And as you can see, the energy economy is it's just not as good, which means that the extreme economy can't be as good, because if the game is dropping energy potions, it's not dropping extremes. Oh, I just took a... trouncing from something there. I do like the playstyle, I enjoy it. As I say, when I played through this on normal difficulty, I had a blast. Even though he did not feel as strong as the characters that I had played prior, he was super fun to play. And I knew that was going to be the case, because he just has a fun kit, you know. Like, he doesn't feel like the... Like, a lot of the characters in this game, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, this guy throws projectiles or makes explosions or AoEs, and this guy just, you know, explosions, AoEs, projectiles, blah, blah, blah. It's... Whereas he has a kind of, like, almost like a hit scan, instant beam, and then he has, you know, this beam that, like, splits. So it's like AoE, but it's, like, ranged AoE, and it can kind of shoot around corners and stuff. It's just really cool. And, you know, pretty much all the damaging extremes in this game are, like these, are an AoE, like an AoE centered on your hero. So it's an AoE kind of explosion. His is the only one that has true range, which is tactically really, really useful, because, you know, normally to get full value from an extreme, you want enemies on both sides of you. You want to be in the middle of a pack of enemies if it's 360 radial, and that's the most dangerous place to be. Sometimes I suppose you could find yourself in the middle of a pack of enemies by accident, and then it's a perfect kind of get out of jail free card, but anyway, you get full value from Scott's ultimate in more situations without having to take risks to get into those situations, because shooting stuff from a long way away is obviously much safer than getting close. This guy's gonna be actually really annoying to kill.
Let's keep moving.
But as I say, it's starting to look like we might actually need to go back to town to buy potions.
My target's down.
We're dead mud warriors. You know what? I just wanted to break all these things, get some tokens, maybe some EP pops, but these guys are being really annoying.
Well, you now owe this.
Who's next? Was that your best shot?
yeah, you're starting. I hope you're starting to see that his damage just is not there in comparison to Colossus. Because with Colossus, we one-shotted that one.
Oh, sorry about that.
They have spotted the enemy.
So you can also use this to stun, which is, it's kind of handy. It can give you a second to like just hop the trap down. The problem is, just like the trap, it's like, you know, CC is great, but invariably the things that are immune to CC will tend to be the things that you want to CC the most, and then obviously you can't. So it's like, it's very binary. It's extremely strong where you can use it, but there are places where you just, it's literally, it does nothing. You might as well just have like thrown the skill points in the garbage.
Nice try, punk.
And you can see how tanky these robots are. I think they have some energy resistance. Or maybe it's elemental resistance. A lot of our bonus damage is lightning. Perhaps that is the issue. But anyway, we will come across enemies who are energy resistant. We will come across enemies quite soon who are both energy and mental resistant. And at that point, you kind of just have to run past them. Unless you can use the trap on them. But these particular enemies...
My target's down.
are also immune to CC. So all of our tools... and they just deny them completely. And it's in situations like that where you start to see this the little... like, because everything in this game is strong. Except maybe Scarlet Witch. I think she genuinely might be the only D tier character. Probably the rest are C, and the vast majority are in B. And the characters that are in B are like really, you know, undeniably strong. And they will feel really strong if you play them, like Iceman or Deadpool even, who's like one of the best boss killers in the game and just cleave through mobs. He can teleport. He has some range damage.
Nice try, punk.
You know, a lot of good tools. I don't know, maybe even Nightcrawler would be in B tier. And like Nightcrawler is arguably, setting aside things that are genuinely broken, like Iron Man, probably the best boss killer in the game. Like, you just press a button and they just fucking disappear. It's outrageous the damage he does. Oh jeez, I didn't even realize I have one one EP pot. So this is what I mean when I say, like,
Greetings again, my friend.
Colossus starting to look like he ain't all that bad, really. Super.
There's quite a selection, isn't there?
But like, you know, we get a lot of money, so I'm not worried about, you know, being out-resourced by the game or something, like just running out of potions. But, you know, that's money that a character with a stronger build can gamble to get better items to get stronger, you know? We're using it to buy potions, because our energy economy is not all it should be. This is a seriously, seriously dangerous aura. particularly on these flying guys, because they'll fly into another mob. You never know where they're gonna freaking go. So if I can, just snipe this guy with my ult. Ideally, doesn't look like I
Is
get.
that your best shot? Who's next?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that name, Sentry Robot, I'm quite tired. My eyes are a little bit tired. I just kind of glanced at it, and I thought, "Sexy robot? What the hell?" That's so my brain interpreted it as. This may not get all of them, but Jesus, the. But as yeah, you can, if you were watching the Colossus playthrough, you can't deny this guy is not on. He's not in that league. As I say, there's just the fact that at no point have I been invincible. At no point have I needed to be invincible. But that's the funny thing about invincibility is 90% of the time that you have it up, you probably didn't need it. The one time that you need it and don't have it, your run is over. Let's just blast these guys out of here. I'm not in the mood.
Let's keep moving.
And the extreme isn't really going to be used much against the boss that we're coming up against. With 29 health potions, I should be able to just...
You sure you want to keep this up?
As I was saying, I should be able to just blast this guy down mostly with my base skill. But we'll see. Well, throw some extremes on it. I want to use at least one to see how much damage it does. So anyone remembers this fight with Colossus will remember it was kind of a walkover. The only issue I had was missing shots. He's kind of being nice to me and not destroying the trap. Which is, yeah, as you can see, the ult does not do like great damage to bosses. But yeah, the trap's giving me some free damage, which is really nice. A lot of bosses will just break the trap. They have like an AoE ability that just whomps it. But, you know, I'm not worried about dying. Certainly not to Grizzly.
I need more energy for that.
It's just a question of how long does it take? And, you know, what's my energy economy like? Because we will get to the point, if we survive that long, we will get to the point on this difficulty where solo, as Cyclops, there are bosses that we will just run out of energy fighting. Like, we'll run out of energy pots. And you can break all the boxes in their arena and maybe get some more, and you can wait and, you know, wait for your passive thinker. But it becomes very, very tedious to win some of those boss fights. Like, the one I'm thinking about particularly is Strife.
Energy for that. I don't have enough power to do that.
Holocaust can be really troublesome as well. Mikhail is extremely dangerous. I don't know if I don't know if I've even ever gotten past Mikhail on this difficulty with Cyclops. Like, I don't know that I've even finished a run. But before I started doing, like, you know, solo, like, hardcore, actually doing the full, like, hardcore runs, what I would do is just, like, I would just boot up the game on this difficulty and I'd have a fresh save, that I had just gotten to this difficulty with. And I would just play around and like maybe I'd have a save where I don't know, I'm in Act 3 or Act 4 or something, and just be like, oh, I wonder if I can kill this boss solo with this guy. Like, if I try this build, okay, what about that build? I want to try those things. And then you have the Danger Room as well, which is really good for stress testing builds. And like, oh, how long can I survive in here for? Can I keep getting kills and getting energy and blah, 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 blah.
Let's keep moving.
And that's how I ended up learning how to build these characters. Was like trying to do things solo without a team, and then doing them on this difficulty solo without a team, and just like tinkering and changing things until eventually you find something that's like, oh, okay, whether it works or not, it's the best iteration of that character. It gets you as close as you can get. And yeah, so I feel like there are some guides and stuff out there, but they really don't give you the truth. If you really want to have properly like super strong best in slot min max build, you got to come to me. I have the monopoly. I'm telling you, I've got the best builds. Pardon me. I'm just getting a little bit of Pepsi. And this is going to be the first massive check for Cyclops in here. We're not going to see the enemies yet on this level that I'm worried about. Wrong button, pardon me.
I don't have enough power to do that.
Oh, they're moving a bit fast. Nice. As you can see, like just the way we have to play so much more cautiously, and we use so much more energy compared to what Colossus could do. But it's doable.
I'd need more energy for that.
Yeesh, couldn't quite get the one shot on that guy. And we will get some power spikes from gear in this difficulty, because we start to be able to get genuinely good gear. Rares become less rare, and the odds that you will get something that's like really nice dual stat that has 2 damage types, or a damage type and a really good affix, like it gives you damage but also gives you like, I don't know, bonus focus or something. Then we'll start to get gear that's like potentially more than twice as good as what we're currently sitting on.
Oh, sorry about that.
And that was kind of scary. I don't like those auras. So we have to commit an ultimate there. Just to make sure there's no risk of dying.
Nice try, punk.
Talk to them, Cyclops. Run your mouth, my son. Whoops. Okay, this is crazily dangerous. And we are going to try to play this as safe as possible. We need to try to get these guys hung up somewhere, get a little bit of space. And that may have seemed extremely overcautious, but believe me. Okay, that's super helpful. Nice upgrade. We get damage reduction. You know, resistance is functionally a type of damage reduction. Mental damage is fairly common, so that's super helpful. But see, there's no way I'm going to finish this act as quickly as I was able to finish it with Colossus. And I'm doing it as fast as I can do it, whereas with him, I could have actually speedrun it if I had the mind to do that, and could have completed the whole act in, even without looking up any of the old speedrunning tricks that I have forgotten, like actual exploits and so on. Being able to portal through quest lock doors and stuff. But even without stuff like that, you know, I could have finished it in half an hour maybe. And with all the exploits and stuff, finish it much faster than that. But it wouldn't be very entertaining to watch.
Who's next?
But yeah, we're getting through okay. And as I say, this is a build I've stress tested. There's some breakpoint shenanigans that are going on like this. I could probably afford to take 3 or 4 points out of this, and it wouldn't really change my gameplay loop at all, aside from making that ability cheaper. So there's breakpoints and stuff like that, so you can fine-tune things. I'm way too lazy to try and do that these days. So we just like, I just kind of play it by ear. I have a, you know, you can see whether you're meeting a breakpoint or not, but it's, you know, too late to kind of go back and take points out of that. I could get a redistribute at some point. Oh my god, that was scary as hell. Is that little guy like body blocked me for just a second while the big guy was on the way. And the big guy has enhanced damage. I'm very nervous around that aura. Almost every time I die to an enemy when I'm doing a run like this, it's because of an aura like that. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Always want to look at the rares. Yeah, unfortunate. But the good items will come. Just keep playing, just keep killing stuff, keep getting those drops. Now... Now life gets a bit spicy. I believe it's this level where we come up against our nemesis. Let's say. What a charming name. Diseased Crawler.
This one's out.
But yeah, we're pounding through here relatively well. The energy situation is not the greatest, which means we're not exactly stocking up on these. And here they are.
I need more energy for that.
These guys are immune to CC abilities, so they can't be stunned by the trap. And maybe not on this level, but there is a level where they will be energy immune and mental immune.
Let's keep moving.
And at that point, you basically cannot kill them as Cyclops. But you know, the rest of this stuff's going down nicely. Can't complain. And you just stretch the old muscles a little bit and start to kind of pick your gameplay loop back up. And things are getting a little bit quicker too. Because I'm getting a little bit more confidence in playing Scott rather than kind of just walking around terrified that I can die. But there is definitely some tense moments. And these guys
Who's next?
yeah, you can see they take quite a bit of killing, and I believe they get tankier on the next level. There's also one enormous room full of them that I have a very clear memory of. I'm not sure how we're going to fare there, but it's just going to make everything grindier. But everything, you pay for everything. So it's like I can go get potions, like I said. I don't need perfect energy economy. But it just weakens me in the long run because it means I'm not stockpiling credits to gamble for better items. And everything will be like that. Where it's like, yeah, I can get through, but there'll be some price I pay. And
I need more energy for that.
the game does get progressively harder as you go through the acts. Kind of culminating in Act 3 and 4, I would say, are in some ways the most dangerous. Act 4 probably the most, in terms of having high burst enemies that can just straight up kill you. And a lot of them are ranged, and then there's one particular melee enemy exceptionally dangerous, and they can just chain CC you to death.
I need more energy for that. Nice try, punk. Not so well.
Auto targeting. I'll wait. I don't mind.
Nice try, punk.
Yeah, punk. And I hope you understand that that nice was sarcastic nice. Cyclops doesn't actually think it was a nice try. He thinks the opposite. Punk. And down we go to our second boss fight.
And a better air. Yes, it is good.
And here are our favorite enemies again.
I'd need more energy for that.
And you can look at this and think, oh, you're doing fine, but like these are just base versions of these guys.
Down. I am definitely strong.
And I can promise you, when an elite pack comes, you know, that can actually do meaningful damage to me and potentially kill me quickly, it's going to get very, very spicy. Might just hold on to that.
So our masters.
Because unfortunately, I can't just blast them out of existence with my ult.
Let's keep moving. We'll triumph.
Because the ult does not do much damage to them either. Here is a great room full of these assholes.
Let's keep moving.
But they just take so little damage. You might as well just punch them to death with the trap. But the extreme actually did a bit more than I thought it would. It was quite nice for cleaning those guys up. Getting rid of that really big, dangerous pack. And yeah, all we can really do is just kind of pound away at them.
It appears my esteem. My target's down.
I love you auto targeting. Ah, so helpful.
Sorry about that.
And it's fun playing Cyclops, don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, everything in this game is fun. And everything in this game, apart from Scarlet Witch, can kind of would if you didn't play the other characters and you had no basis of comparison, you would probably think like, wow, that's got to be one of the stronger characters. Like if you played through with, I don't know, Wolverine or something, just because he's so fast, he does so much damage. It would feel like, okay, that can't be normal, right? He has to be like S tier or something, and like he's like maybe B tier, maybe C tier even. But he's just like, when you're playing him well, he's gonna feel like an absolute beast because he's so fast and you just tear everything to pieces. And it's like you're not invincible, but you kill everything. You don't have to worry about dying, especially if you can do it quickly. Just kill everything is a really good survival strategy if you can kill it fast enough.
Don't you now?
And this is so dangerous having these guys in here with him.
Who's next?
Well,
I need more energy for that.
and you know, having the range advantage, particularly against bosses, makes for fairly safe and easy boss fights where, you know, they're just not even going to hit you that
I
much.
don't have enough power to do that.
But not exactly the quickest boss killer, and going through a tremendous amount of energy to get the job done. I missed a quest thing, so I'm gonna have to go back a little bit. That's fine. Just a little loop-de-loop. And then if I'm smart enough and I remember, I will portal back down and then just bounce back to that extraction point. So I get exactly right back where I need to be. But yeah, see, like, all these side objectives, I don't need to do them. And
Nice try, punk.
and you can see how long these guys take to do. And you know, they just caught me for a second or two there because I got stuck in the floor.
I don't have enough power to do that. Nice try, punk.
And you know, we just cannot afford to try to muscle our way through packs like that. That, you know, they can't be CC'd and we can't kill them quickly enough to take the threat they represent off the table. You know, we just have to try to play it safe.
Nice try, punk.
One nice thing about Cyclops, though, is that optic flash ability, which is quite handy. The stun is really nice. And to be honest, if I were bringing Cyclops in a team, I would genuinely consider building into optic flash and essentially just bring him there as a crowd control. You know, you just stun everything and let everyone else kill it. But we don't have that choice here.
Let's keep moving.
Last queen here. I don't think there's any real reason to come over here. Aside from the data disk, which oh, that's right. I was going to do something smart. If I was smart enough to remember, which I almost wasn't. And that is to come here, sell any goodies.
Do you have any questions?
Slot back up on these bad boys and get back via this so we can schmoove. Nip straight through.
Quickly, get out of... You got...
When time for...
Thank heaven.
No, you won't let me target the giant thing that I need to destroy for the quest.
Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving.
I was trying to get them all corralled up there, unfortunately. Messed that up. And you can see what I mean when I say the damage it just is not there compared to Colossus, especially bearing in mind that we are generally shooting one enemy at a time. And when you have good positioning, this kills a group about as quickly. The optic blast is mostly for bosses. And you need something for bosses.
You sure you want to keep this up?
Yeah, you run that mouse cycle. Take that shit. Anyway. We're gonna try to blast through here because I'm already a bit late.
Nice try, punk.
Ah, what the hell?
Where's my backup?
You're not doing so well. Let's keep moving.
Now, as you can see, it's definitely ranged enemies that we will tend to struggle against the most. Because they're much harder to kite into the trap. Blast my way through there. And you may be starting to see what I mean when I say, like, the extreme economy is not really there. Like, I would love to be ulting more, but even with barrels and boxes and stuff to break,
I need more energy for that. This one's out. I need more energy for that.
the amount of energy we're using it's enough that our drops of everything other than
My target's down.
and yeah, so you can kite them into your traps, ranged enemies. If the map allows you to like deny them a sight line, they'll run until you can get a sight line. So there's a lot of like short sight lines and tight corners and stuff. Then it's not that hard to juke them out and pull them into your trap.
This one's out. Let's keep moving.
Kind of save a little bit of energy, just punch them to death. Stun, make it safe, which can certainly do. And one of the few things that's going to be much easier on Cyclops than on Colossus is breaking these, because we can just shoot them.
Let's keep moving.
But you can see what I mean. So the differences between the strong and the stronger and the weaker characters in this game are typically fairly marginal, especially if you're talking about stronger characters and then kind of mid-tier, lower mid-tiers, rather than like genuine sort of, you know, F-tier stuff. The differences are not like that shocking. Like, this guy has the damage. Like, you know, it's not like we can't kill the stuff we need to kill. Some stuff takes a bit of chipping down, but you know, we can generally do it relatively safely because we have the range advantage and we have a very fast attack. But it costs us a fortune in energy, like, and that just isn't a problem that Colossus has. And we're really going to try to just let the trap whittle them down. Otherwise, but you see, he can get it done fairly easily and fairly comfortably. It's just, he's not invincible while he does it. Oh, hold on. I did this wrong. I have to try to press the button first, and then I can come over here and collect the spare parts. My bad. Anyway. Yeah, we have the damage to do what we need to do. And in theory, we could do it without dying. In theory. Assuming we use our kiting, we use our range advantage, and we play safe and have some patience. We can clear the game. It's just a question of like the big difference is that we don't kill things as fast. We have to play slower and more carefully, and we're not invincible while we do it. We can die. Alright, you know what? This is such an annoying place to fight for Cyclops. We're just gonna actually push straight out of here. Straight into the next area.
You X-Men are so
Out of here, Chungus. And yeah, we got another boss fight coming up. Should be interesting. I only have 10 health potions, which is a worry. I think we'll go back and I'll portal back and grab myself some more because we're probably going to need them. She can heal herself and stuff.
Hey, that was some clever Professor Thief and
props. Props.
Anytime.
If you don't have props, I don't care.
Greetings again, Mike.
Alright, So we're not going to need that because we have that.
Take your time. There's no need to hurry.
Can. OEM can. Props. Yeah.
My
Props.
You know.
Alright, now the trap is not going to be helpful at all against Lady Deathstrike. She loves to break it. I mean, yeah, you can get a few hits in here and there, so...
when I'm finished here, they won't be able to
That little
identify
spinny
you.
kick that she does, that just breaks the trap. But... this is enough damage. Ah, I got stuck on the freaking lamppost. But it takes a freaking while. She gets so much health back compared to how much damage I do to her. It's really rough. You know, she's healing like 3-4 optic blasts worth of HP, super frustrating. And then I walk into that. Why you gotta go to that one? It's so far away. It's, it probably didn't crit. It could do a decent chunk if it crit, but there's no sense wasting extreme tokens. That said, once I have Lady Deathstrike's area unlocked, I have a really convenient and easy and stress-free way to go and just farm a bunch of extreme tokens anytime I need them. So from here on out, resource management ceases, is a solved issue basically. We don't, as long as we have time, we have all the resources we need. Because you can just come in here anytime. All these barrels will respawn. You almost certainly get a bunch of extreme tokens from them, and and as you continue on in the game, and as your demand for resources increases, there will be much better places to come where you can, you know, target farm these drops. So this is just like the first easy one because the waypoint is right here, so I can just extract out. Come back, break a bunch of barrels, get a bunch of extreme tokens. We're not going to rescue the prisoners. I know I did one side with Colossus, but such is life. There are some prisoners up here that I want to get because I want to get the Danger Room qualifying exam.
Keep this up? Oh, sorry about that.
I think it's up here. About long?
Nice try, punk.
Yeah, here it is. And yeah, I'm gonna be a jerk. I'm not gonna rescue these guys. It's worth EXP, and the EXP would be nice, but here's the secret: is at this point in the game, you have better ways to get EXP. So, ooh, that's super scary. Okay,
Nice try, punk. I need more energy for that.
come rescue these guys just because it's right here. I don't think there really is any reason to come up here. Since I've missed so many homing beacons already.
Can't believe it.
I can't believe it! I got Mr. Smith. Ever fuck. And I never know it. Anyway, enough of my facile impersonations. Let us continue on. And we're doing okay. We're doing okay. It's just slow going in comparison. And risky going in comparison. Because death is a possibility. And these guys are super dangerous because of that slow. But the trap does tame them a little bit. It doesn't CC them. Boo, get out of here. On your hound bike. On your fucking bike, son.
Alright, time for a little.
And yeah, these are the kind of fights that we kind of don't want to be in the middle of a room full of ranged enemies. So we're just gonna
Nice try, punk.
kite them back into a nice friendly trap. And we'll put another happy little trap down here. Happy little trap. And bonk, bonk. Ooh.
I suppose I should thank. Oh. Yeah.
That is that knockback effect that I was talking about. Which is a bit of alright for someone who wants stuff to be as far away as possible. You know?
Nice try, punk.
But so you might remember Colossus actually, like, it was a little bit annoying doing this area with Colossus, just because there's so much stuff that just runs away from you, and you know, you end up in the middle of it, and you don't want to do that. You want to isolate your fights, and you want to clear space before you move forward. I suppose that's just a habit I get from not being invincible, but you know, it's not what you want anyway. So this just felt a little bit more dicey as Colossus. It feels really nice as Cyclops because you just have the range to like poke everything and pull it back into you So you're just kind of clearing the space as you go. But it's not free. We're spending tremendous amount of EP to get this done.
Well, what have we...
And it's still slow in comparison to...
This one's out.
But yeah, it's very slow compared to Colossus, and part of why it feels okay is, you know, we have Pyro, who's the kind of clay pigeon for us. Yeah, see that ground slam they have? That just broke the trap instantly.
You sure you want to keep this up? I don't have enough power to do that.
And dang, these guys are very naturally resistant to energy because they do energy damage. That's usually how these things tend to work. And as you can see,
My target's down.
they are extremely tanky to the damage that we do.
Nice try, punk.
Should be fine. Popping these doors here.
Whoa, hold up there, mate. Well, you can eat you.
Get me here.
Let's keep moving.
Down. This is not how you want to be playing this.
You sure you want to keep this up? Let's keep moving.
And I'm not worried about using a bunch of extreme tokens here because I plan to go farm a bunch more for the boss fight, so... Takes a little bit of patience, but I think it's very much worth doing and will make the fight smoother and faster, but because we're not, we don't have a lot of energy, so I should probably go back and buy energy and health pots so it won't drop them. And it's natural to have to do that a couple of times.
Greetings again, my friend.
Wow. That's physical damage, though. We may not be able to benefit from that. I can't remember. Super. Two. So right off the bat, although it can definitely still drop energy potions, but you can see right off the bat we're getting more extreme tokens. And I'd have to do this, you know, 3 or 4 times, I suppose, to fully stock up, which I'm not going to, because I think this should be enough. But it's nice just to get a little leg up. I'd rather go in with 3 than with none. The game almost always will give you some breakables and stuff to farm some pickups off, you know, right before you get to the boss. You've also got this thing, which these ones don't allow you. They only allow you to switch characters, so you can like get a new character if someone's died. And yeah, we'll just blast this guy with all our ults. Probably won't do that much damage. And yeah, you might sort of think, oh, okay, put the trap down because he's so stationary. He breaks it almost instantly. So it's not a lot of value to be had from the trap in this fight, which is a shame.
This really sucks, doesn't it?
And we just stay out of the range of those extendo punches, and when he pulls us in, you just walk away. That's the way to avoid the attacks. Yeah, all extremely simple. He's a pretty easy boss in terms of not getting beaten up. He attacks a little bit differently on the blimp, and there he can be a little bit more dangerous, but
Some people think I'm a real drag.
it's mainly just the slowness of the fight that can be a little bit frustrating. The iframes. But we've almost got him to the point where he'll run.
I need more energy for that. Some people think I'm a real drag.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I need more energy for that. Some people think I'm a real drag.
Off he goes. On your bike. And let's grab any barrels here. There'll be some on the inside. Just tech bits. Tech bits are still nice though. Complain about tech bits. Can't complain about potions either, not when I need them. Get around the outside. Hopefully we'll get an extreme token or 2. I just said one more would be nice. Ask and you shall receive. We have been blessed by RNGs. Let us continue. There's a barrel down there I missed, but I can live with it. There's a whole bunch to break here, so almost certain to get full extreme tokens. Because yeah, you can see there's a crap ton over here. We just have to make sure we make it back in time to get on the blimp. We got a minute. Should be fine. And here we are, maxed out. Grab that, grab this, and jump onto our friend the blimp. There's a few we missed, but it's fine as long as we got everything we need, which we do. So let's just ult this guy just because we can. Sign of disrespect. Get off my blimp. Get off my blimp, you bum. And we'll pop our trap down. Hopefully it'll give us a bit of cover from these jerks.
This should be a blast. Take them down and make it hurt. Oh, I'll never tire of this game.
Let's keep moving. Wanna go out with a bang?
That's one of the problems here, is that you do need a clear sight line.
Wanna go out with a
So you've got to be able to kill those jerks or CC them or something. But done and done. And we can just use the last of our ults to hopefully blast this guy down nice and quick. Get rid of all those minions. You get out of here. Easy does it. Not particularly stressful, or not particularly a struggle, but as we say, if you're going to compare this to how it was with Colossus, it's not much of a comparison. You can see the damage just isn't there. Hold on. You don't want to go down there. Le bomb.
You're not doing so well. I don't have enough power to do that. Let's keep moving.
Auto targeting, how I love the. And down he goes. And as you can see, this took a little bit longer than Colossus, even though we speedrun some content that he didn't have to. And he could have speedrun much more content. But yeah, hopefully that was illuminating. Now, I'm going to save this. Here before we go to Act 2. But I don't even know that I need to go to Act 2 on stream. We'll go there and hopefully the game won't crash. And then I'll wrap this up.
Honest, 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 honest,
Honor, honor, honor,
honest,
honor, honor.
honest, 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 honest,
Fantastic dialogue. Beautifully written. Anyway, here we are.
Apocalypse.
Thank you to anyone who did check in. I may continue this one at a later date. I'd continue the Colossus one first, since he got here first. But either way, hopefully that was of interest to some people. And yeah, tune in more for more X-Men Legends 2 content. I'm just showing builds, stress testing builds, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, hopefully anyone does want to check this game out. It's free. It's tiny. It's effortless to run. It does work on Windows 11 without any external fiddling. And yeah, great game. Check it out. Anyway, take care, Internet. And thanks to anyone who tuned in.